excited to take you through my lower body workout. If it looks like I'm still very sleepy, I am. It is 6:15 over here, but it's my usual workout time, and this is the time when the gym is the most quiet. So this is why I picked this time to do my live training with you. I'm super excited for you to be here. If you want to check out some of our other content, like my Tuesday lives or our podcast, please subscribe. Please share this channel if you enjoy it. But yeah, basically what we're gonna do today, or what I usually do, is a 60-minute workout. Glute hypertrophy is on the agenda for today. So I have walked here, which is a good 15-20 minute walk. Um, I kind of do it in like a power speed, so that counts as my warm up. If you have literally just rolled out of bed, I would recommend, jumping on the treadmill or on the rower or bike for 5 minutes. I also hope that you can hear me okay, because sometimes with these headphones I don't actually know. But anyway, so yeah, if you haven't done any kind of warm up, if you literally just got out of bed, please warm up a little bit. I've also done maybe 3 minutes or so of a bit of mobility, hip focused, since we're going to be doing lower body today. But yes, let's get into it. So the way that this is going to work, and simply I'm going to do my training and take you through it. Of course, you can speed it up or pause it or however if you're watching the replay. It's going to be, like I said, about a 60-minute workout, and I will give you the instructions or tell you what I'm doing at the time that I'm doing it. So we're going to start with our first superset, which is kind of another part of my warm-up, because it's more like it's just a very light body weight exercise to activate the lower body. I'm just gathering my things here and walking with you through the gym. So give me one moment. Okay, so the first superset is going to be Roman chair hip extensions and paired with body weight squats, simply to get some mobility going. So the angles might be a little bit weird from time to time, but I need to see what I can do with the setup that I have. So you're going to be seeing my butt a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, we're going to do 10 reps of this, 10 reps of squats, repeating that 3 times, and then diving into our first pre-exhaust exercise, which is going to be hip abductions. For this exercise, I'm placing my hands on my glutes in order to feel my glutes better and activate them better. So these are just some simple body weight squats. The hip extensions, I actually want to round my upper back a little bit, because that just means we get more tension in our hamstrings, and especially the lower glutes also. So you don't want to be like super hyperextended in the back. And my personal cue is always just pushing the hip forwards, even though they don't actually move. But yeah. If you don't have a Roman chair, you can also do these with a Swiss ball. Last set. Okay, cool. So this was our first superset. The next exercise, as I mentioned, is the Abductions. So we're just jumping on the machine. If you don't have a machine, you can also do this with a plate or lying down with a band or however you like. So again, the idea for these is to do a pre-exhaust set before we actually jump into our squat. So I'm going to be doing 3 times about 10. Maybe they only turn into 8. It depends on the weight that I use, but it should be challenging. Since it's an isolation exercise, we can definitely, push ourselves in the sense of RP. I'm going to be doing the first set just sitting upright, basically, or yeah, upright, and then the last 2 sets leaning forward more so that I'm targeting my lower glutes more. And yet even here, my cue is essentially push my hips forward, even though they don't actually move, but like I'm thinking in the sense of push the hips forward. So we can take a little bit of a rest in between here, maybe like 45 seconds. We only need a short amount of rest since this is an isolation exercise. Okay, second set. This time leaning forward. Good. One more set to go. No, gracias. So we'll do one more set of those before then jumping into squats. Last set of about 8 to 10. Leaning forward and thinking about pushing that hip forward too. Okay, so that was our pre-exhaust exercise. Next, we are going to do squats. If you don't have a hex squat machine, you can just do regular squats, but we just got this lovely new machine here at the gym, and I'm gonna utilize it. So we're working up to a heavy weight for about 8 to 10 reps. This is going to take me probably at least 2 warm-up sets before I get there, maybe more like 3. You can do this wide stance or whatever stance suits you. I'm going to do my first set with just a couple plates on either side, and then I'm building up from there. Once we've reached our working weight, we are going to do 3 sets total at this particular working weight. A bit more weight for my next warm-up set. Now I also have a belt, which I'm going to be utilizing. It's not something that you necessarily need. I also have wrist straps that I'm going to be using later for deadlift, etc. But yeah, not necessarily something you need. It's just convenient. Just give me one moment. I'm going to grab a drink. All right, 1, 2, warm-up set number 2. This is still not my working weight, so just keep that in mind as you build up. Gonna add a little bit more weight to this. I might have to strip it back, but we'll see. So that's what I'll be using for my first actual working set. Again, I might strip it back if I decide it's actually too much, but we'll see. Give me some time to breathe through this, and then I'll go ahead and aim for 8 to 9 reps, probably resting about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2, before I then do my second set. Right. So I'm gonna stick with this weight, or at least for the next set. Might change it on the third set. But yeah, whoever said strength training is no cardio certainly has never done squats before. Always gets out of breath with these big compounds. So yeah, we've got maybe another minute and a half of rest before diving back in. If you're wondering like what I'm sipping on in between, I actually just have EAAs with creatine, although you don't need the EAAs at all, especially because I did have a protein shake beforehand. But I just like something flavored. If it's just pure water, I'm not going to drink as much of it during the training. So yeah, I prefer to have a little bit of EAAs, even if it's unnecessary per se, perhaps. But right, let's do this. Second set done. Another minute and a half or two rest, probably more like 2. So the plan after this is Sumo Deadlifts, and we've got RDLs, then giving leg extensions, like curls and kickbacks, and finishing off with some ab work. Yep. Okay, next set. Let's do this last one. Okay, gonna put the weights down and then build up to the sumo squat. sorry, actually meant Sumo Deadlifts. I don't know if I said that earlier. Now, I've had a few people ask about my setup for Sumo Deadlift because it's actually quite low. Like my hip is quite low, as you'll see in a minute. And the reason why it's lower than what you might expect from a Sumo Deadlift is that I want to target my glutes more as opposed to my back. So that is why. Neither is right or wrong. It's just how I set up and how I can feel best. Right. So same here. We're going to do 1 or 2 warm-up sets so that we find, or until we find our working weight. And same rep scheme, 8 to 10 sort of thing. Okay. Go to a different side. Do I think this is occupied? Just a second. No, okay. So for this first set, since it's quite light, we'll be using my belt. So again, in like a more traditional sumo deadlift, you might see more things like this, but I'm going to do it more like this, again, because I want more glute engagement. No, this is only 6. It's just a warm-up set, so we don't actually need to do the full repetition necessarily. Somewhere close to that. So I'm going to add some more weight. This is still going to be my second warm-up set. Not quite my working set yet. Where, oh, here's the second cup. I will actually be using grips for this, even though it's not quite my working set yet, but it's getting heavy. This is fine. Okay, second warm up set. Probably just going to do like 6 reps or so also. Okay, turn it to 8. Gonna add a little bit more weight. And then that will be my first working set. Right. Let me grab a drink and then we can go. Let's do this. 8 reps. Here we come. Mostly using the belt to like isolate my legs more and not using it for as much, which kind of sounds contrary to what you would think, but yeah, that's my main reason. Came up a little bit higher with my butt on those than I would like to, which is what I tend to do when I get fatigued. But anyway, so we're gonna rest for a minute and a half or two before getting into the second and third set. And then our RDLs, continuing on with leg extensions, leg curls, and then abs if we have time. I mentioned in the description that you can, comment if you have any questions. I just realized that I have disabled the chat function. So obviously, leave me a comment once it's posted if you have any questions, or simply hit me up on Instagram or whatever. And particularly if you have any questions in regards to particular rest times, or why I executed certain exercises in a certain way, or even nutrition around training, literally anything you want to know, just feel free to leave me a comment and I will make sure to get back to you. But anyway, now on to our set number 2. Hey. Whew. Should check this out. We're still sleepy. Who knows? Got another 30 seconds or so before our third and final set of those, thankfully. What I really like about sumos, though, is just how nice they are for like the inside of the leg. So yeah, if you don't have like abduct or adduction machine, I think doing sumo things is one of the best things you should possibly do. So anyway, third set, let's do this. So that was probably a 9 RP for me, at least, maybe 9.5. Now reduce the weight a little bit before warming up or for the RDLs. And the thing is, the more you get into your workout, usually or often, the fewer warm-up sets it requires for a certain exercise, because of course you're just like systemically much warmer and your muscles have already been activated. So I'm going to do a set of 8 probably with this weight, and then increase to my actual working set or working weight. But yeah, we'll see. So while I'm all for keeping a logbook and trying to increase yourself week by week, I also think it's really important to just go off by feel in your day. So I know what I did last week with this, and I'm going to try to top it. But if I don't succeed, that's okay. Even if I have to use less weight because maybe I didn't sleep as well or other things, right? So we don't want to stress about specific numbers necessarily. I'm not here for any competition in terms of strength gain. So nonetheless, this is going to be my first warm-up set for these RDLs. I'm going to aim to do 8 reps again. You know what? I'm actually going to stick with this weight. This felt really challenging already. Like probably an 8 RP, which is enough for me for this exercise. So I'm going to count that as my first set. Apologies if you only just onto your warm-up set. Maybe pause, do another, add a little bit more weight, and then jump back in with me. But I'll do another 2 sets of 8 reps here in a minute. Again, at least like a minute and a half of rest. But yes, a lot of breath. One of my clients, she was asking, is it okay if I'm huffing and puffing at the end of the set? I'm like, yeah, if you're doing, 8, 10, 20 reps, for sure. But anyway, on to the second set in a minute. Cool. Let's do this. We have one more. So at the end of this, because I mean we have like 13 minutes left, I'm not sure if with all my explanations and everything, we're gonna get through the whole program together. But if after the hour we're not done, you might wanna do like finish off with the abs and with the recovery portion on your own. So essentially, I mean I'll talk about it then. But usually at the end of my training session, I do make sure to do like 10, maybe 15 minutes of an actual wind down routine, which is just some sort of stretching or foam rolling. It really doesn't matter that much what it is, but the main point is that my central nervous system calms down and that I activate my parasympathetic nervous system instead of just staying in activated mode and making it harder for my body to recover. So that can even just be something like a physiological sigh. So breathing in very deeply and then doing another quick breath in and then releasing, exhaling for as long as possible and doing that like 3 to 5 times. One of the quickest ways to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So that could be a very quick way for you to get into relaxation mode after your workout. But less talking, more doing. Last set of RDLs for us. All right. So the leg extension machine is actually just occupied, so it's not ideal, but we're going to do leg curls next. In my program, I have a variation. Some weeks it is standing, some weeks it's laying down, some weeks it's seated, and this week, or right now, because it's free, I'm going to be doing the standing ones, which of course is just one leg at a time. So again, 8 to 10 reps per leg. We're aiming for at least a 9 RP. So yes, let's jump in. If you don't have a leg extension machine, you can do these with a Swiss ball, with a rowing machine, anything like that. Of course, I don't need these anymore. And I probably won't even have to do any warm-up sets for this, because again, the more of an isolation exercise it is, and the more you're already warmed up, you don't really need to do like, warm up for every single time. Let's see. It was actually way too hard. Way to go, Lisa. Now we're ready, I hope. Yeah, that's better. Awesome. Yeah, definitely 9 RPs before. Interesting. So somehow my left leg was able to do a lot more than my right leg. But anyway, the reason why I said it's not ideal that we're doing this before the leg extension is just because we've mostly just taxed our hammies already in our RDLs. So going right into leg curls again, hammies. Not the best idea. Would have been nice to give our hammies a little bit of a break, but that's okay. Better that way than having to wait for a machine forever. And that's the same thing that I tell clients, like if they're like, oh, you know, can I skip, can I vary exercises? I do like, especially the beginning portion of the workout, to stay as written, mostly because we want to be freshest for our compound lifts, for the ones where we really want to push it. But otherwise, I don't want you to wait for a machine for like 5 minutes, right? So yeah, let's get back into our second set, because the isolation exercises also don't require as much rest. So like 45 seconds to a minute is plenty. We have one more. So in general, especially on those isolation exercises, or actually in general, we can do the concentric part, so where we're pulling a lot more explosively, and then the eccentric part, so the lowering down part, we want to do a lot more controlled, a lot slower. So that's a good general rule of thumb, that like you don't want to drop the weight too quickly. And even on leg extensions, the down part should not be too quickly. Try to do it more controlled. But yes, we've got our last set of these to go. Yeah, could maybe make it to 8. So that's clearly 0 and RL. Okay, so the leg extension machine is actually occupied right now. So I'm gonna let you guys go. But if you joined in this workout, if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you want me to do something like this again, please also let me know. So the last thing would have been 3 sets of 10 on the leg extension machine, and then 3 sets of 10 to 15 in terms of any kind of crunch variation, decline crunch, could have been either with a cable, anything like that for the midsection. And that should have, if I wouldn't have chatted as much, should have easily brought you to, maybe a minute and maybe an hour, maybe 65 minutes all in all. And then finishing off with 10 minutes of mobility work like I was describing. So that would have been 75 minutes in total. I'll put the exact workout out in the descriptions as well once I post it. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your Saturday and rest of your weekend.